So, hi guys, welcome everybody. We are so excited that you're joining us for another episode of What's It Like to Teach in Da-da-da-da. And this week we have Lori Berry joining us from Italy, and she's going to tell us in just a minute about all about herself and where she works, and then we're going to ask her some questions so we can get an idea of what it's like to teach in another country. So I'm Vanessa Levin from Pre-K Pages, and we're super excited to bring this second episode of our series to you. So Lori, take it away. Tell us about yourself and where you teach.
Hi, my name is Lori Berry. I'm originally from Ireland, and I came to Italy. Well, this is my 19th year in Marymount in Rome, Italy. For the first 2 years, I taught kindergarten, which would be 5-6-year-olds. Then I taught the 3 to 4-year-olds for a year. And then for the rest of the time, I've been with EC2, which are the 4 and 5-year-olds. This year, we've got a very international crowd. I have 13 children with an assistant, and I have 7 different nationalities in my class. If you count myself and my assistant, we're up at 9 nationalities.
And so your school is an international school, correct?
It is, yes.
Okay, wonderful.
All the teachers are mother tongue English, even though it's a school in Italy.
Okay.
Usually the majority of my kids would be Italian.
Okay, all right. And so what would, who all can send their children there? So these are like expats, or tell us about that. How does that work?
A lot of Italians send them to here as well because they want to get an English education. Everything is taught through English.
Okay.
We will get a lot of ambassadors, diplomats, people that maybe are here. We get a lot of American Embassy children as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. And so, so you're teaching in this really, I think, really cool, unique situation. How did you end up here? What brought you to Italy? What brought you to this school?
It wasn't meant to happen. It just sort of happened. It was I was working in Ireland in a Montessori, but in the daycare end in the afternoon. And the school wasn't making money, so she asked me, could I work part-time instead? And while I was looking for a part-time job, I saw this one in Italy, and I thought, I'll apply for that for the laugh. And after the interview, I said to the girl interviewing me, so, when will I know if I have the job? And she said, well, actually, you have it. I spent a week crying about whether I should go or not.
Right.
And then someone said to me, Lori, at the end of the day, it's not a prison. You don't like it, you leave.
That's right.
Then I, stayed, met a man, have a child who's a 10-year-old who goes to the school, and I'm still here.
Sounds like a fairy tale. That's amazing. How fun that you took that leap to do that, and that it changed your life, right?
It did, completely.
It did. Yeah. So I'm just thinking of questions off the top of my head. So do you speak Italian now?
Now I speak Italian.
Wow.
At the beginning, I didn't. And I remember one of my first days here, we had a little boy having a temper tantrum. And I was doing my usual, he'll get over it, and letting him do it. And my supervisor came in and she goes, you need to learn some Italian words, because apparently he's been cussing everybody out.
Uh-oh.
So my first Italian lesson was all the words you shouldn't know.
Yes, I think that's important to know those words when you teach little kids. How funny. Oh my goodness. So what was, so when I think Italy, I think Montessori. I don't know if that's true or not. So, I mean, that's just because that's the birthplace, right?
Yes, it is.
So,
and that's what I was qualified in. So,
and that's what you're qualified in. So, are you teaching in Montessori type of a setting now, or no?
No.
Okay.
Here, hang on. See, can I do this? I don't know. Can you see?
Yes. Absolutely.
I don't have much of the work up. do.
Very cool.
And that's the messy area. We won't look at the messy area.
We all have them, don't worry.
Then they have their families.
Nice. I love that. The little popsicle stick houses. That's adorable.
And then you can see my Irish touch up there, the leprechaun.
Ah, nice.
These my friend made for me. They're pictures.
Oh, that's precious. And I love that your walls are white brick, just like mine right here.
I like it a lot. But no, it's not Montessori really. No Montessori equipment.
Okay.
We use the Engage New York math program.
Okay. So the whole entire country of Italy doesn't do Montessori. That was
not
just,
my school anyway. A lot of them do, but
a lot of them do, but not your school. Okay, that's a question I had. That's just kind of what I thought. The first thing that popped into my head. And so when you first came to Italy to start working in your school, did they pay for your housing, or like how did all that work?
Well, the year I came, they gave us apartments for a month while we looked for something, but they also gave us a relocation allowance.
Nice. Very nice.
They helped us do all the paperwork because in Italy, paperwork is awful.
Okay.
It's it's a disaster.
And
it's harder for Americans because we're in the European Union, so it's slightly less difficult.
Right.
So they gave us that. They were very good about, like, if we had to go to offices or to go to anything, they always came with us.
Oh, great. So that made me think of another question. It just escaped my mind. I'm sure you can't relate to that. So when they were giving you housing and they were helping you do all that, how do you get to school? Do you walk? Do you ride a bike? Do you have a car? Like, what's that like?
In the beginning, I was living closer to the center, which was nearer my school, and I came on public.
Okay.
Now, my husband has to start work at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't officially have to start till 8:30, but so as I don't have to do the whole bus thing,
mm-hmm.
I come with him, then I have time to set up. I do my planning and stuff then.
Great.
And then normally I do after school activities, except for Tuesday.
Giving up her free afternoon for us.
And then he takes me home again. So I am very lucky I have a chauffeur.
Yes, because driving in Italy, I've never been there, so I don't know. But just from what I've seen, like, I don't know. Do you find it to be scary to drive there?
Yes, I would not drive. Okay. And in fact, when my mom comes to visit, she refuses to sit in the front seat with my husband.
Really? Okay. All right. So that's one of the things that is true that we've seen in movies and on TV.
Yes.
And so you live or you work, or I should say, your school is in Rome, near Rome, or tell us about that.
The address is Rome, but it's not in the center.
Okay. All right. So you don't see the Pope every day?
No, I've seen him, but
you have. Okay. Very cool. And what do you think is the biggest thing, like when you moved to Italy for the first time, what was the biggest thing that shocked you that you weren't expecting, or just took you by surprise that maybe you hadn't thought of before you took the job or moved over there?
Paperwork was a big thing.
Right. Anything cultural?
Waiting for buses. Italians do not believe in queuing for anything. It's a free for all.
Okay.
And I don't know what it's like in America, but when you take a bus, you maybe there's 10 people standing in the bus and then they stop, right?
Right.
Not in Italy.
No?
You will contort your body into so many different shapes just to fit one extra person on the bus. It's crazy.
So personal space. We were talking about the personal space. Like it's a little different, right?
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Okay. Yes. I used to teach and live in Korea, and that was probably the biggest thing for me as well, because until you experience that, being pressed up against 50 other people, you don't really get it until you do it. So yeah. So we talked about how you get to school. Right now, your husband drives you, but before that, you lived close enough, right?
Yeah, and the bus. I mean, bus services aren't great.
Right.
Bus,
because of the schedule is not so consistent.
No, they're not consistent at all. Even one of my 4-year-olds told me this weekend that when they take a bus, they have to wait a long time.
Oh, wow. And so what's your favorite thing about living and working in Italy? What's your favorite thing?
I don't know. I guess in my school, we're kind of sheltered in a sense because we're very, it's an international community. Like my assistant's from Sri Lanka. In the other class, there's some American teachers. There's a girl from the Lebanon who's a teacher. It's very international in our school. I find now, since I don't live in the center, I'm inclined to, go home and tackle my life of homeworks and dinner and washing machines.
Right.
But the Italians, crazy as they are, I do love them. They're fun. They're very warm. They're very family orientated.
Very good. Awesome. And what do you all do for fun over there? I know you have a child, so you're very busy raising your family, but are there any things that they do in Italy for fun that maybe you didn't do in Ireland?
Well, again, like when I came up first, we sort of all the teachers would hang out together. So we would always have parties. And after that, she started hiring more couples because I think that she thought they might be a little bit more responsible.
That's funny.
I did go out. I had a group of Italian friends for a while. When I came at first, I did this thing called Scambio, which is where Italians looking to learn to speak English meet up. And they speak to you in English and you correct them, and you speak to them in Italian and they correct you. And I would have gone out with them quite a lot. And, they were big into always going out for pizzas or just going for walks in the center. And the thing that amazed me was you could stand outside somebody's house for an hour just talking without doing it. Like, are we not going somewhere?
That sounds like me. I might do well in Italy. So I know, like when I lived and taught in Korea, we would go on tours of the countryside, like on the weekends sometimes, because it's such a historical, beautiful thing. So have you seen the sights in Italy?
I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
Sicily, Sardinia, Tuscany, Venice.
What's your favorite place?
Venice.
Is Venice your favorite? Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like, because you're so close, it's a small country. It's easy to go on a weekend tour of things, right?
Yeah.
That's what I did in Korea.
I'm taking my son down to Naples. He wants to see Vesuvius in Pompeii. He wants to do all that.
Wow. Such a rich history there that, we don't experience everywhere, especially here we have history, of course, here, but your history is much older. So very, very fascinating to me. Okay, we talked about the personal space. That's your least favorite thing. We talked about your favorite thing, surprised you the most. And we talked about how you chose to do it. It was kind of like a whim, right? And you didn't expect it to happen. It changed your entire life. That's so cool. How is it different from where you were teaching before? You said you were teaching in Ireland. So how is it different where you are now?
Well, when I was in Ireland, I had like Montessori. So I had different age groups. Here, I have my own little class. So even when it comes to planning,
Mm-hmm.
It's a different way of planning. I would say I'm doing more planning now because I have them all day, whereas in the Montessori it was just the morning.
Okay. All right.
Also having to think about, these kids might not understand what I'm saying the first time.
Right.
But have a different language.
Right.
I mean, I've one mother tongue English child.
Mm-hmm.
The rest, Spanish, Chilean,
right.
Portuguese.
Right. So you have that language barrier. That's probably a big difference. All right.
But they really, really pick up English very, very quickly.
Yes, when they're immersed in the language all day, every day, I think that they really do pick up on that. So if you said that you have a lot of teachers there, they're international community, and just as a parting thing for anyone out there who's thinking about doing something a little out of the norm like this, what piece of advice would you give to a teacher who is thinking about taking the leap and going overseas? So think about those new teachers that come to your building every now and again. What's one piece of advice you would give them before they came?
Do it. Go with an open mind. And know that if you're going to an international school, there are going to be other people that have been there and will help you with things that, you're stuck with, even things like, finding a doctor who speaks English.
Yes.
Who speaks English.
That's good. That's good advice, because I know that's a big fear for, for a lot of people, and to know that there's help on the other end is a very good thing. I think that's great advice. Yes. And I think having an open mind and taking a leap is another really good thing as well. Let's see, there we go. Now we're back to split screen. So I want to thank you so much. I know you are a very busy lady. You have a family and a package waiting in the office, and this fabulous job teaching 4- and 5-year-olds in Italy. I want to thank you so much, not just for taking the time to talk to us, but actually talking to us in your classroom and giving us a little tour. I love getting those sneak peeks. So I want to thank you so much. And we'll post this on the Pre-K Pages Facebook page. And because of the time difference, Lori will come back, hopefully, and answer any questions people might have at a time that's convenient for her, not in the middle of the night. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
For those of you watching, give Lori some love in the comments below. Thank you so very much, and have a great night, everybody. Yay! We're done.
Bye, everyone. Bye.